What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and yes, I know we're late to the party, but let it all work out. Let it all work out. Sorry for my voice.
Can we get excited
Sorry
yet?
for my voice.
Can we get excited
Can we
yet?
get excited? I think we can get excited, people. I think we can get excited.
Even when I had that 3 a.m. bomber yesterday, I still wasn't getting excited. I was like, I'm not hearing Chelsea out of the race. I ain't hearing agreed personal terms. I ain't getting excited just yet. I'm not waking up to no Chelsea hijack.
Let it all work out. Unbelievable.
What a morning.
I am gassed, people.
What a
Last
morning.
night, I went to sleep thinking, there is no chance this deal's going to get done. I was so sure in my mind that Chelsea were going to come in last minute, make a bid, and he was going to end up going there. But I've woken up to the best news of all time. 8 in the morning, I got woken up saying, Ben, Xavi Simons, he's about to join Spurs. I wake up, I look at my WhatsApp, I have 1,000 messages. I see you and Sammy speaking in the WhatsApp group. Sammy's saying at 4 in the morning, come on, you got to do a video. I look on the channel. There's a video saying Xavi Simons signing for Tottenham. I was like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell
On my
is
own
going
channel,
on?
I don't even know.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. There are so many journalists speaking about this, but I'll just give you the important ones, which I'm sure you've all heard, but if you've missed it, Fabrizio Romano, the 3 beautiful words, Xavi Simons to Tottenham, here we go. All signed between Spurs and RB Leipzig for a fee of 60 million euros, fixed after agreement revealed overnight. Xavi has completed his medical and his contract is now also signed. Contract until 2030 with a 2-year option. Xavi Simons is set to be announced today. Wow. So that means it's a 5-year contract with 2 years on top of that as well, if we wish. David Ornstein says that Xavi Simons has completed his medical before moving to Tottenham Hotspur from RB Leipzig. 60 million deal agreed club to club and personal terms done for 22-year-old attacker to join Tottenham, pending final parts being sorted between the Dutch international and Leipzig. And then he added on that Simons has signed the contract at Tottenham Hotspur ahead of a move from RB Leipzig. Deal for 22-year-old attacker, 2030, with an option to extend by 2 years. Dutch international finalising exit terms with RB Leipzig after Tottenham agreed a 60 million price and personal terms. Florian Plettenberg, Xavi Simons to Tottenham, done deal, hijack completed. Xavi now signed his contract until 2032. Full agreement with Leipzig has been reached. 60 million guaranteed and significant sell-on clause, bringing the package close to 70 million euros. Chelsea never submitted an official offer. Tottenham have been fully in the race since yesterday, as exclusively revealed. Now Spurs are the winners. Paul O'Keefe saying Xavi Simons at medical done. Spurs hoping to present him before the game tomorrow. Player just sorting out severance and termination with RB. Spurs wrap up the deal and it could reach £125 million total package as Simons agrees a 5 plus 2 year deal with the club. A record. Xavi Simons is fully coys. And he also says that Spurs are still aiming to be active before Monday's deadline. Centre-back and forward area are positions to be targeted, which we'll get into a bit later on in the video.
So when Paul O'Keefe says a record, does he mean a record transfer fee or a record package deal?
I think it's a record package deal, but if it's, I think if all bonuses are met, then it can go up to 70 million euros. So that would be close to a record.
That would pretty much be our record.
Yeah,
that makes sense. What a deal. What a deal.
Let it all work out.
After all the depression we've been through with the transfer window this summer, with Gibbs, White and Eze, it really felt like we left ourselves with no place to go and no place to turn. I did say, I didn't think it would happen, but I did say, when we were talking about Eze deal getting hijacked in that video, I said, if we're serious, we just go and put the money down for Simons. He hasn't moved yet. He's still available. Go and get him, or at least ask the question. And somehow, I don't know what's happened with Chelsea. They've, for weeks and weeks, been on the verge and on the brink of getting this deal done. And for one reason or another, they've waited and waited. It seems they've, made priorities of Garnacho and other players. So we've come in, we've swooped in, and we've got the deal done very quickly. Look, credit to Levy if he's the one negotiating. Credit to him. Credit to the negotiating team, because they've really sold him a project. They've sold him what we're trying to do. They've swiftly put the money on the table. They've agreed a deal very quickly with Leipzig. No posturing, no long negotiations.
There was no time for that.
Put the money on but it only took a few hours. Put the money on the table. They have agreed to make him our highest paid player, which I agree with. Albeit I understand he's a young player, but when you need to get quality through the door, you need to pay them. You need to pay them the money that's going to get them through the door. And yes, you're probably going to get some players now asking for a pay rise with this Simmons. I wouldn't be surprised with that, but I don't care. At the end of the day, there's a big hole in our wage structure right now with Son leaving. We only had 4 players above 100 grand a week. So we can afford to give Simons this kind of money, in my opinion. But, look, fair to their fair play, they've agreed to do it, and they haven't. And you've got to give a bit of credit. Like, they had Gibbs White, which for one reason it failed. Marinakis blocked the deal. They didn't stop there. They went for Eze. Yes, they bungled that deal, but they did go for him, and they did try very hard to get him over the line. That didn't happen, but they didn't rest on their laurels. They went for the next best thing, and I think there's a good case to say we failed upwards here. I think Xavi Simons could be the best of the lot. I think I've been banging on about him ever since he was at PSV, for sure. I know he's been a bit of a child prodigy. When he was at PSG, at a very young age, he was highly talked about, saying this guy's going to be the next best thing. But I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, because he went to Leipzig. He had a great season, and everyone thought he's going to go back to PSG, but he decided to stay at Leipzig. He wanted to continue his development. He wanted to play football regularly. That was his main focus, and I think that goes to show where his head's at. In terms of how he sees his career. He wasn't like jumping at the first chance to go back to PSG and the glitz and the glamour of that big club. He's still concentrating on playing as much football as possible, even after having a good season at RB Leipzig. But I remember when he was at PSV, absolutely phenomenal. I remember waxing lyrical about him. I thought at that point he was going to go back to PSG and start playing their first team. Goes now, been at Leipzig for 2 years, and now he's looking ready for that next big move. And I'm just so happy that it's us that he's decided to come to. In a 5-year deal, potentially 2 extra as well. That's a long commitment. He's really committed big part of his future to Tottenham. This is a guy who starts regularly already at 22 for the Dutch national side. He's already played at the Euros. Don't know if he played the last World Cup, but he's definitely played at the last Euros. Scored against England in the semi-final.
Brilliant goal, yeah.
Brilliant goal. So this guy who he likes the big stage as well. Performs very well usually in the Champions League. Was brilliant at the Euros when he played there. Nothing seems to faze him. I think it's because he's been maybe in the limelight since he's such a young age. Like when he was quite well known when he was like 14, 15. That was like this child prodigy. I think he's fearless. He's a fearless player who nothing phases him. And I think he's got a very good head on his shoulders. I think he's got unbelievable talent. He's exactly the kind of player we need. He's actually like, in terms of the number 10 he is, he's quite similar to Foden, but also in a similar way, he's quite similar to Maddison in the way he kind of turns away from players and picks up really good spaces. He likes to drop deep as well and dictate play on occasion, but he's a really good ball carrier. He's a really good passer. I think he's got so much to grow. Now, what I would say is I don't think he's quite the finished article right now.
Who is at 22?
Yeah, it's not a criticism. I'm just saying that's reality. I think he's an unbelievable player, but some of the other players are maybe just more like the finished article. He's kind of still in that development stage, but that's just because of how high of a ceiling he has. He's got such a high ceiling, he's playing at a very high level right now, but he's got levels to go. And that's the most exciting thing about him. I think there's so much to be excited about. He's versatile, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play in the 10, which I'm sure obviously is going to be his main role. He gets goals. He's got unbelievable shot from outside the box. He's got unbelievable vision. He gets assists. He gets goal contributions. I was looking at his stats, 70 goal contributions in his last 112 90s.
Wow.
70. And that's in 2 seasons in Bundesliga, 1 the Eredivisie and Champions League. So he's been getting goal contributions very regularly for a very long time. This guy is an absolute baller. He's an absolute baller. He's a box of tricks, but he's one of those players where, there are some players where they'll do like fancy stuff, but is not effective. You know, they'll run into blind alleys. They'll do this fancy stuff just for the cameras, but he's effective with it. He does it for a purpose. He does it to get in a better position, to get a shot off, to play a through ball, all that kind of stuff. I just can't wait to see him in the Spurs shirt. I think it's a phenomenal deal, and to think the fee we're paying as well. It's a great deal.
It's very rare you get a player of this quality for under his market value. If you believe what the transfer market call is market value, they called it, I think, 73 million euros. We're getting him for 60 million. That could rise to 70 if all bonuses are met. So I think it's a brilliant deal when you're looking at the package that we've given him. You know, I've criticised the board and I've criticised everyone, all the decision makers at Spurs for the wages for so many years now. Now we've brought someone in alongside Coutinho Romero that is going to be top earner at the club. We need to keep going. Look, this isn't enough still. We've still got holes in the squad. But for this, if we get these other signings in, then this could be the best transfer window that I've seen probably in my lifetime, to be honest. This is a player that is on the way up, that is already a world-class talent. I think this guy is going to absolutely cook at Tottenham Hotspur. And it's been a long road to get here. Don't get me wrong. It's been a long road to get here from from the Mbeumo debacle right at the beginning to the Morgan Gibbs-White situation, to the Eze situation. And now we're here and we've landed on Xavi Simons, and I can't quite believe it. I am actually in pure shock that we've got this player over the line, seriously, because when you're looking at profile fit to what we exactly needed, I think this guy could be absolutely perfect. I really think he can. And you look a bit further down the line to when we get Maddison back, to when we get Kulusevski back, what unbelievable options that is in the number 10. And that means that Xavi Simons can drift out wide if needed, with Maddison in the middle. When we want to go and kind of really break down those low blocks as well, he's going to be perfect for it. I think he's got unbelievable ball carrying. He can thread the ball through the eye of the needle. I think when you're looking at passing, like if you want to compare him to Eberechi Eze, which we'll get onto that a bit later, but if you want to compare him to him in terms of pure creative and passing ability, I think this guy's way ahead.
Yeah, and even at a young age, I think, and the fact that he's already you know comparable, and he's already at a stage where he's playing at such a high level like he is now, I think goes to show the talent he is. It's interesting when you look at the position he plays at Leipzig. If you look at his position, like if you're looking at the transfer market, it'll say he's played a lot of right wing, a lot of left wing. But it's a weird one because Leipzig play this 4-2-2-2 system. So like both wingers are kind of like two number 10s inside. So he has been playing like number 10 even when he's been playing out wide kind of thing. So I do think definitely that's his position. Like centrally, that's where he thrives. That's where he does his best work. He's not a winger per se, but he can play on the wing just like Foden plays on the wing. Like it's been a number 10 on the wing.
When he plays on the wing for us, he won't be that out wide winger. He'll be that one that's tucked inside to cause carnage in the central areas of the pitch. So again, a quality that we desperately need in the squad, that kind of winger as well. So is he going to be our number 7?
Well, he was number 7 for PSV. I know that. It's a number that's got a sun-shaped hole there. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
Who's our number 11?
Our number Hill.
Yeah, it could be 11.
So it could be 11.
I think they'll give him the 7.
Yeah, I think it'll be 7.
I think they'll give him the 7. S7.
I think we are also in need of a real star. With Son leaving, we need like a face of the club, a face of the team. And yeah, we've got a lot of good players, but we don't really have a superstar. And I think he could fit that role.
Yeah.
Tell's 11. Yeah, Tell's 11.
Tell's 11. Look, he can grow into that role. I don't want to put that kind of burden on his shoulders as of yet, like come in straight away and be the star. But he can definitely grow into that role. He's still 22. He's still a young player. He's still got some growing to do and some learning to do. But I think he comes in automatically as a starter in the team, that's for sure, in the 10. And he's going to be brilliant for us. I've got no doubt about it. This guy is going to be brilliant for us. But when you're talking about this club needing a star, I completely agree with you, and I think he can grow into that role, but I don't think he comes in straight away and is that star.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's world class just yet, but I think that's the idea.
Yeah, of course.
Is that he will be that. I think that's the plan, and I think he comes in. You know, this is a guy who starts for Holland, for the Netherlands. He's already, I know he comes from Leipzig, but he's he's a very well-known player within the game, very highly thought of. Like, I think he comes in and hopefully he can be that superstar that needs to replace Son.
I think so. And can we talk a little bit about Chelsea being in the absolute mud over this deal? Over all summer, everyone was saying, yeah, this guy is locked in for Chelsea. I thought he was locked in for Chelsea. Agreed personal terms right at the beginning of the summer. And when any Chelsea fan yesterday, when they were talking about this deal, saying, oh, it's only Tottenham, we're going to come in with a bid and we're going to get him, there's no worries about it. Every Chelsea fan was so relaxed, while every Spurs fan were just panicking, being like, nah, this deal's never going to be done. A hijack has been completed. We little broed Chelsea today.
It's crazy.
We little broed Chelsea today.
Crazy. Even if you go back 24 hours, most reports were saying Tottenham are exploring it, but he still prefers Chelsea. Chelsea are his preference. Everyone was trying to basically downplay Tottenham's chances. I don't know what Tottenham have done to convince him. I reckon, obviously, we heard he was in London yesterday in the morning. I reckon they've basically kidnapped him, taken him to Hotspur away, taken his phone away, and just done all they could to just convince him, like, this is the place for you. You got to sign for Tottenham. Like, no outside noises. They blocked all the Chelsea numbers off his phone. You ain't speaking to them. We're getting this deal signed. And look, I think Tottenham knew this is, essentially last chance saloon, or one of the last chances we got.
They had to get this done.
To get a number 10 in. And yeah, I don't know what happened with Chelsea, because as you say, that deal seemed in the pipeline for a very, very long time, and they just couldn't seem to get it over the line. But it was weird. By the end of it, it did seem as though he was less of a priority. But how are you prioritising Garnacho over Xavi Simons? That makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely zero sense.
It's absolutely
Simons
mental.
Can play all across that front line. Like, you'd rather... We only spent like 10 million more or something on Simons than they spent on Garnacho. So the fact that they've prioritised Garnacho is very, very strange. I don't really doesn't make too much sense to me. I think that they were... Look, I do think they wanted him. I do think we've gazumped them on this one. I do think it's a hijack, whatever they want to say. They were the ones the front running for him, and they were still trying to get the deal done. Even Romano was saying 24 hours ago, don't count Chelsea out. They're still in there. They're still trying to get it done. But Tottenham have swooped in and somehow sealed the deal very quickly, and we've sold the project to Xavi. I wonder if it was like, we sold it to him, you're going to come in here, you're the main man, you're going to start every game, you've got Champions League football here, Thomas Frank's going to know exactly how to use you, he's a great tactical manager, he sold him how he's going to use him, and the family feel we've got at Tottenham.
Thomas Frank has given a speech of a lifetime, in my opinion. I guarantee you, Thomas Frank, they had him at Hotspur Way yesterday, they showed him the facilities, they showed him the plans of where we're trying to go under Thomas Frank. We're looking at the calibre of player that we've already brought in this summer in João Palhinha, or a hole that's needed in the squad. Mohamed Kudus, a hole that's needed in the squad. He was one of the missing pieces for us to go into the Champions League and go on a assault on the Premier League this season. He was one of the missing pieces, whereas at Chelsea, it was just going to be another brick in the wall, you know what I mean? So he wasn't even guaranteed to start at Chelsea. We know how Chelsea kind of manoeuvre these kind of signings, where at us, he's going to be vital for our season. Absolutely vital. And I think Thomas Frank has given him a speech of a lifetime.
I agree. And also, you look at Chelsea and how many big money signings they've made and sold over the last 2 years. Surely Simons could be looking at Nkunku, he could be looking at Madueke, he could be looking at Mudryk or Jackson, or all these big money signings who come in all this promise. They've probably come in, being told, given all these big long contracts, being told you're the future of Chelsea, and within a year or two, when they're young players and maybe they have, I'm not saying they've all been bad even, they just haven't maybe hit those world-class levels or anything straight away, and all of a sudden, Chelsea, you're surplus requirements, you're out the door, we don't want you anymore. Jackson is coming as a young striker, and both seasons done relatively decent, and they're like doing everything they can to get rid of him like he's nothing. And that's how they treat players over there. That's it's a different kettle of fish at Tottenham. He's going to come here, big long contract, and he's going to be loved. He's going to be the main man here, and everyone's going to get behind him, and everyone's going to have full belief in him. Whereas at Chelsea, he's going to be behind Palmer. He's going to probably be playing playing second fiddle. So I think it's the right move, to be honest, for him. I really do. I think it's the right move.
100% it's the right move. 100%. I couldn't agree more. And I cannot wait to see him in a Spurs shirt. I cannot wait to be there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow when he's unveiled on that pitch. The stadium is going to go absolutely wild for him. We got a new Dutch superstar in a 10. First one since Rafa van der Vaart, and that one didn't work out too badly.
Some rumours he could sign in time.
Yeah, there has been reports. Nothing serious as of yet.
Rumours.
He needs to be officially signed in 5 minutes for the registration to go through.
Well, it doesn't have to be announced.
No, it doesn't have to be announced. He has to be officially signed in 5 minutes' time.
And they're saying it is officially signed. So
yeah. So let's hope, it'll be unbelievable if he can, because I don't think he'll start on the weekend, even if he is. I think maybe on the bench, it'll be great to see him for the last 10, 15 minutes or whatever. But we know that his full debut is probably going to come against West Ham after the international break.
Some are saying it's the biggest transfer profile-wise we've ever done.
I think there's a strong case to it. I think this is the biggest signing Spurs have made since Jurgen Klinsmann. I think Jurgen Klinsmann, when we signed him, he was at the top of his game, World Cup winner, or World Cup star. I don't think this is of the same caliber as that, but I think it's the biggest signing since then.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of someone in their prime, on the up, who's was much sought after and has the potential of being world class, and also in terms of his profile, like the profile player of his name. I mean, I agree. Like, you got Van der Vaart, but you got to remember Van der Vaart.
He was on his way down.
I wouldn't say he was on his way down because he was 28. So like, he was in his prime, but he wasn't. Like, he was our favourite at Madrid, you know what I mean? He was on, they wanted him out. Like, it was a player who was out out of favour. Leipzig's different. He was wanting to make that step up. Like, they don't want to sell him. He wants to leave because he wants to up his level. So like, the profile was a lot different. So like, you got that. Yeah, Klinsmann probably, obviously he was a big name at the time. So it's probably, you got to say, it's probably the biggest one since then.
Yeah,
probably the biggest one since then. Massive.
Yeah, I think this could even be bigger than Van der Vaart, in my opinion. But look,
yeah, I agree.
I think, yeah. By the way, Paul O'Keefe is saying because of work permutations that he probably won't be in the squad this weekend. But it doesn't matter.
Imagine he fails to get a work permit.
Yeah, he won't fail to get a work permit. He'll be in the squad for the West Ham game, and that's going to be his debut at the London Stadium. That's going to be absolutely.
They're going to go after him.
Absolutely brilliant. So you're looking at it, and I think the beneficiaries of this transfer, all the front line are going to be beneficiaries of this. I think Brennan Johnson could be a massive one. To be honest, we know how his positioning at the back post is brilliant, and the way that Xavi Simons can thread the ball through the eye of the needle. Look, obviously we're looking to sign a left winger, so that might hamper Brennan Johnson's minutes. But let's say, for argument's sake, Brennan Johnson is our starting left winger. I think Brennan Johnson can get loads of goals off the back of Xavi Simons' work.
Yeah, and you've got him and Kudus linking up together. I think they're going to have a lot of fun together, him and Kudus. You can just envisage it, can't you? Both of them are so hard to get the ball off. Both of them are so good in those tight spaces, linking up together. I think once they start to gel, I think they're going to absolutely fly. What I would say about Xavi Simons is, because I do think I'm not saying it's going to be a big adaptation period to the Premier League, because when he moved up from Bundesliga, from Eredivisie to Bundesliga, he actually adapted very quickly, and he actually made that step up quite easily. Obviously, it is a step up again from Bundesliga to Premier League, only because Bundesliga is a very different kind of league. Like, it's very open space, it's very transitional, very end to end. Whereas Premier League is like that, but it's different. Teams are smarter. You're not going to have as much space. You're not going to have as much time on the ball. Those kind of things. So obviously, there's going to be an adaptation period, but what gives me a lot of hope that it's not going to be some long adaptation period, is because when he plays in Champions League, he plays fine and he's great. And obviously plays at international level really high as well. And those obviously are very good levels. So I think he's going to come to the Premier League. Obviously, it might take a few games to adjust, but I don't think it's going to be like we have to wait a year for him to adjust. Like, I think it should happen pretty quickly where and I think he's a smart player as well. He's very smart. He's got a very high footballing IQ. So I think he's going to adjust really quickly.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm just so gassed, man. I'm so happy after how I was feeling yesterday, being like, nah, there's no chance. I just can't believe it. We're here, sitting here on the 29th of August, only a few days left of the window, and we've got an absolutely unbelievable signing. And if you ask me right now, obviously, I would take him over Eberechi Eze for sure. I think he's going to be better for us than what Eze could have been for us.
And he's younger, 22. He's, we're going to have him for longer. Eze, 27. Like, I'm not saying that's old, but, that Xavi Simons is in he's just coming into this prime and we're going to have him for a long time. The only thing I would say about that is we do have to be a bit careful in a sense that it's not a bad thing because he's an ambitious player, clearly. And he was happy to stay at Leipzig. So I think, whilst the team was playing well and whilst, he was getting game time and playing at Champions League, he was happy to stay and happy to be there. Proof within the pudding, there was probably a chance to maybe go back to PSG, but he said, no, I'm happy at Leipzig, I'm playing there and I want to stay there. And that goes to show his mentality. But as soon as they faltered and they had a bad year, dropped out of all of Europe, I think finished 8th in Bundesliga, he did look to leave straight away. So you just got to be aware of that situation. Like, I'm sure he's happy now. We're playing Champions League and whatever. But if there does come a time where we're losing our way and, we start, dropping out of Europe or whatever, is that going to happen here? Potentially. You just got to be wary of that.
He signed a 5-year +7 deal. So it's going to be very hard to get him out, even if he wants to leave. Like, it's going to take a monstrous bid from anyone if they're going to have to sign him off us.
I'm just saying that, you just something to be wary of. Is he going to start getting unhappy if the team...
I don't want to talk about all that
just
now.
Saying, that's something that's happened.
I think it's only right that we're just completely gassed about the deal, and it has happened. Spurs are going in the right direction. We're building an actual squad here. You're looking at the calibre of player that we've brought in this summer. At the beginning of the window, I thought this deal was completely unattainable. I thought it was unrealistic for Spurs to bring in a player like Xavi Simons. But here we are, Kudus over the line, Prem-proven quality, João Palhinha, Prem-proven quality, and Xavi Simons, an unbelievable number 10 prodigy with unbelievable footballing education, La Masia, to PSG, smashed it out at PSV, smashed it out in the Bundesliga, and now we've got him at the age of 22, which definitely falls under the category of experienced youth. And I'm delighted for this one. I'm absolutely delighted. But there you have it. Spurs are signing Xavi Simons. We've got the here we go. We got the Ornstein bomber. And he has signed, sealed. Apparently everyone's calling it official without the official announcement yet. And he's done his medical. He's here. He's signed, sealed and delivered. And he's going to be a Spurs player. And I cannot wait to see him balling out on that pitch in Tottenham in N17. Xavi Simons is going to be our new hero, people. Let us know how you're feeling about that situation in the comment section below. We've got some quite a few super chats to get through where we're going to go in. Then we're going to get into more into Xavi Simons. First one is Paul from Singapore saying, "Oh, that's about the draw." This one's the first one saying 1, 2, 3. Anaya saying, "Man, you are fighting inner demons, so they better watch out because we've just signed Xavi Simons."
Come on.
Luke Wardle says, "Would like to personally thank Mr. Marinakis and Eze for helping us get the best 10 we've been linked with all summer. It indeed did all work out."
It really did.
Let it all work out. Dark Sanji saying Simon's facing PSG soon. RB owed us for Timo. Also, we got Simons while Man U got Sesko for much more money. Laughing my arse off. Van der Ven and Simons, the two Dutch stars, plays for us. And that's a good point, actually, because apparently Van der Ven did have... we were talking about Agent Mickey, and apparently he was Agent Mickey.
He was. He convinced him. And also, which I didn't know, apparently he's very good friends with Odebear.
Oh, really?
Because they played together at the PSG Academy.
Oh, right.
So maybe
I didn't even know Odebear was in the PSG Academy.
Yeah. So I wonder if they had something to do with that.
Richard Blackdog says, hey lads, I've been hoping for Eze to sign for 18 months. I'm gutted still. Is Xavi better? Win me over and ease my pain. Come on, you Spurs. Look, I think Eze is further along in his career. He's Premier League proven. Obviously, Xavi is a younger player. I think 5 years younger, and obviously he hasn't played in the Premier League yet. But I think if you're talking about pure profiles and what we need in this number 10, I think Xavi fits the bill more than Eberechi Eze. Don't get me wrong, I was very excited for Eze, and I think he would have been a brilliant player for us. And I think maybe Eze has more opportunity to hit the ground running straight away than a Xavi Simons. But I think in the long run, Xavi Simons will be a lot better for us.
Yeah, I think this is a better deal for us long term, 100%. We're playing similarly for a much younger player who's got a higher ceiling. I think he's a better fit for what we need as well. I think there's a lot to like about this deal over the Eze deal. Eze's obviously played in the Premier League for many years, so he's already up to speed. But I think once Xavi Simons adjusts to the Premier League, which I don't think will take long, I think everyone's going to be wondering, not wondering, but everyone's going to be saying it's a much better deal.
Victor Mathiasen with the super chat says, didn't I say this would happen? Hashtag delusional. You did actually. He sent a super chat in yesterday saying this is going to happen while everyone was shitting the bed and lose their mind. Victor Mathiasen came on and said this deal was going to happen, and he did hashtag delusional at the end of that tweet as well. But where will he play? Last season he played the same amount of games at both left wing and cam. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, look, we know where he's going to play. He's going to play in the number 10. We don't have a number 10. He slots in there nicely. And look, we've been crying out for creativity all through pre-season and even through the first few games of the season, particularly in the Burnley game. And hopefully the idea is that he's going to come in and solve that. Yeah,
he's definitely going to be our 10. And as I've said, I outlined before, if you look on Transfermarkt, he's played a lot of left wing, but it's not really a winger. It's more of a left attacking midfielder. Because that's how they play their system. They don't really play with wingers. They play like a 4-2-2-2 kind of system with two wide 10s. And even they also play a formation of like a 3-4-2-1 or something, like a Glasner. But even when he plays that, he's obviously very much tucked inside in the 10. So even when he's kind of out wide, he's still in the 10. So he's going to be our number 10 for sure. That's his position.
Malware with the super chat. Big up Malware says, did we actually sign Xavi Simons? What the actual fuck? I'm over the moon. Eze hijack was a godsend because Xavi is potentially a star. Number 7? Yeah, I mean, we did discuss that before. I do think he's going to be our new number 7.
I agree. And, a star number for a star player. Yeah, I know. I think everyone is just as much in shock as you, Malware, that we've actually got this done. Everyone was expecting after the Eze deal that there's a good chance that we're going to end up disappointed when it comes to our pursuit for the number 10. But you got to say they've pulled out of the bag. Fair play to him. It's a phenomenal signing, a great response to missing out on Eze. For me, I don't really care about missing out on Eze anymore. Let him go to Arsenal. We got the better player.
Literally, who cares about Eberechi Eze? Seriously, we've got ourselves a guy that fits the bill a lot better than Eberechi Eze. Seriously, let him go to Arsenal. And look, let's be honest here. As much as we wanted Eze before he joined Arsenal, everything that he's come out with since, everything that he did to push that move to Arsenal, this guy is a proper gooner.
Yeah,
ingrained in him. This is not a player that we want at our football club. Seriously, we do not want, I'm telling you, we do not want Eberechi Eze at our football club. He is a pure gooner. There's no pure Aguna, of the purest form.
You don't want that anywhere near your football club, poisoning our club.
Exactly.
None of that.
Hung Diggity says 8-hour live stream, beat the Daigle record. I saw Brian was on stream till 7:30. He's messaging me at 4 a.m. while I'm fast asleep, dreaming of Xavi Simons. He's messaging me saying, "Come on live stream." I woke up there. I was like, "What? 4 a.m?"
Let's do it. We'll do it. 8 hours. No problem.
Michael Hellman says, we are massive. What happened to our club? We are going places. Frank deserves these tools. Who took Levy's checkbook? Big up. Hashtag come on you Spurs. And regarding Daniel Levy and regarding the way Spurs have kind of maneuvered this transfer window, it has been highly embarrassing at times, not going to lie, this transfer window. But if we can get these two signings in now before the end of the window, because don't get me wrong, I'm delighted with Xavi Simons, delighted with Paulinho, delighted with Kudus, but we still have holes in the squad. We still have a hole at left wing. We still have a hole at centre back and cover at full back. So if we can get 2 players to cover those positions from now until the end of the window, and there are rumours that Spurs are still looking to get deals done, and they will get deals done. If we can get those 2, would this be the best window we've ever seen under Daniel Levy?
Yeah, by far.
I think it will be 100% by far. And, you know, I've had massive gripes with the board and massive gripes with Daniel Levy for many years. But I'll definitely give credit where it's due, for sure.
And look, and you got to say it how it is. He had the 60 million we've had set aside for this number 10. He's been determined to spend it, and you can't say otherwise. You know, the Gibbs White and Eze things, whatever you want to say about how we've dealt with those deals, there was probably, look, I understand the frustration from me as well. Like, I was very much frustrated with how those deals failed to materialise, but we also have to acknowledge there was extenuating circumstances in both those deals. Yes, we definitely, in my opinion, did bungle the Eze one when we had a chance to get over the line, but still, there was kind of extenuating circumstances, which, compared to how most other deals go, which kind of made those deals not happen. But we didn't rest on our laurels, and we didn't just feel sorry for ourselves, and we kept going, and we would basically determine we're getting this number 10, we're getting a player that's worthy of that transfer fee as well. We didn't overpay for anyone silly, we didn't panic, we targeted number 10 who's still available on the market, who we really believed could improve the team, and we went for him, even though there was talk of Chelsea. He only wanted Chelsea, all these different things. We still went for it, and we got it done. So look, fair play. We put the money on the table, we got the deal done quickly, we did everything that we were asking him to do. That's the truth. They did everything they were asked to do. No, they did it. They did. Doesn't matter if it's finally or when. They did it.
Dark Sun G says we beat the Blues to both Kudus and Simons. Lol, both bargains. Yeah, completely agree. I mean, the value on both those deals have been fantastic.
Also, is there starting to be a bit? I'm starting to see in the Chelsea fan base now quite a few question marks over their window. Like, they've got João Pedro in, but have they actually had a great window apart from that?
Delap, decent signing.
Delap's decent.
Who else have they got in?
Good. Gittins is pretty good, but he hasn't played too much yet.
Well, it's only been 2 games into the season.
I know, but he's still young. He's Gittins still a player who had a breakout season last season at Dortmund. You know what I mean? It's not like he's been playing.
Yeah, but if we sign Gittins, you'd be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with it. But I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about proven players, right? Delap had a breakout season last season. They got him in. Gittins had a breakout season last season as well. There's nothing to say they couldn't turn out the same way as a lot of their other signings have, in terms of one decent, a half decent year, and they're out the door because they're looking for something better. That's how Chelsea seem to do their business. I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of excitement when they signed João Pedro, and it's like, okay, Chelsea are really going for it. But you look at their business, and has it been that impressive?
I still think they need more in the defence. Chelsea. They haven't signed a centre-back, which I think is desperately needed. They haven't signed a goalkeeper, which I think is desperately needed. So, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it looked like they were very serious at the beginning, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I don't know if it's materialised as the window's gone on as what a lot of Chelsea fans thought it would.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but all will be revealed. Still a few days to go. We'll see what happens.
Garnacho's like, is that?
Yeah.
How good of a signing is that?
No. It's definitely a fair point to make. Armando Solis says, what's our best 11? I hate to drop Sarr. Do you think Frank will use him on our wing? Either way, great problem to have coming new Spurs. And that is a very good point, because what is our best starting 11 now? I think the defence, does the defence speak for itself? Because you've still got the Djed Spence, Destiny Udogie situation to discuss. You've got, where does Sarr fit in? Now we've got a number 10, because Sarr's been playing in that position.
Yeah.
We have got actually selection headaches now.
And we're talking about adding selection headaches with more signings.
But that's what you need, right? That's what you need. We've been calling for Spurs to build an actual squad, not just a first 11, ever since Pochettino, or even before that, ever since Harry Redknapp.
Yeah, you don't want a situation which has been the case for most of our lives, where we just know the starting 11, we know what our best 11 is. You want it to be like when it was peak like Pep era, where it's like, he could drop Foden for a few games and no one's even going to talk about it because they've got like Bernardo Silva coming in and it doesn't matter really. You don't really know their best 11. That's like the perfect situation where everyone's equal quality kind of thing coming in and stuff. So I don't think we're quite there yet, obviously, but we do have good selection eggs. What is our best 11? I would probably say, look, you got to have Vicario in goal, Romero, Van de Ven, centre back, Apollo right back. I would still argue with Doggy, but Spence is making a good case at the moment. Bentancur, look, in terms of our best 11 right now, if I'm just being ruthless and not no sentiment, no like, just because I like players I have to be in, I think Bentancur, Paulinho in the pivot, Simons in the 10, Kudus right. I mean, is it Brennan left? I don't know. I mean, he's scoring at the moment.
Yeah, it is Brennan left.
And then I would probably say Richarlison up front at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. But look, what we're saying is for us to build a team for Frank to be competitive with, you need options and different profiles for him to devise plans for each and every game, because we know he's not like Andrew. He's not going to play more or less the same system every week, and you know how we're going to play. He's going to want to play in a different way every single week, depending who the opposition is. And that's why you need a squad more than ever now. That's why you need a squad more than ever, packed with different profiles. And we're nowhere near there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's fantastic. Look, let's hope we get a little bit more business done. If we don't, we don't. If we don't get any real business done from now to the end of the window, I think the squad's in a good place. I think there are things to improve and there are holes, but I think the squad's in a decent place to go forward in the season. But for sure, you always want more. Yeah. You always want more, and I'm happy to hear we're not resting on our laurels.
What's your rating of the window if it closes today? No more signings.
If it closes, probably you'd probably have to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking 7 as well. And then if we bring in that left winger, it goes up to like
depending who it is.
Let's say if it's a Savinho or a Lookman, I think that goes up to like an 8.5, and then if you bring in like an Akanji or an Ake on top of that, that's a 10 out of 10 window.
Yeah, literally perfect window.
Michael Hellman says, did Kuti know we would be absolutely cooking in the kitchen? PSV, Savio and Xavi reunion deadline day bomber. I didn't know Spurs fans could be this happy. Yeah. And there are rumours about Savinho still. There are rumours floating around.
Well, he's good friends with Simons. They played together at PSV. Yeah. They played together at PSV. There's a lot of videos doing the rounds of them clearly being very friendly and very close. So can Simons get in his ear? Well, look, we know Savinho wants to come. It's just about Man City blocking the deal. So it might be out of our control, but if he starts really pushing, maybe there's some late drama, but I just think it's unlikely because City won't be able to find a replacement, it seems.
And that's why Kuti signed the thing. That's why he signed the contract. He knew what was cooking at Tottenham. None of us knew, but he knew.
He was told. We're getting these guys in. You want to be part of this.
Dark Sun G says, wow, finally Djed Spence called up to England. Congratulations. And I think, look, well deserved, Djed Spence. Jed. He deserves that call up. He probably deserved it in the last squad that they announced over the summer, or even the one before that when he was cooking towards the end of the season. But he's finally got his call up, so big up to Djed Spence.
Yeah, that's massive for him. When think about it, that's really the culmination of what's been a crazy kind of 6 months for him.
Yeah.
Well, you go back a year now, that pre-season that he had last season, this is the culmination is here. A year later, he's literally, if I would have told you, even though he had a brilliant pre-season, if I would have told you a year ago in a year, he's going to be in the England squad, you'd have been like, calm down. But like, wow, look at him now.
Yeah. New member, welcome to Lazenby24. He's actually not a new member. He's been a member for 7 months, and he says Xavi number 7. Yeah, it looks that way.
7 for 7 months. Come on.
Brandon Dormer says, get the champagne out, boys. We did it. Absolutely. Might have to have a tipple tonight. Amy says, Spence got the England call up. Really think he's going to be a star for the club and country. Yeah, I can't wait to see him line up for England, to be honest. Andrew Din says, rumour Kane coming back to the Premier League next year. Do you think Spurs will re-sign Kane, and will Kane fancy our new squad? I mean, if Kane is to come back to the Premier League next summer, surely he's looking at this Spurs project being like, this is a different club to the one I left.
When he's got players like Xavi Simons around him, then that all of a sudden takes you into a different place. So yeah, mate, I think so. I think so. If we're still in Champions League, if we're competing, I mean, look, right now, obviously last season we finished 17th, but if we keep going in the way we're going, 100% he might look at it and think, maybe I can come back. But would we take him back at 34? Or was it 33?
He'll be 33, won't he? Is he 32 now?
He is 33 now, I think.
He's 33. I would take him back for a year or two. Definitely.
I think he could play till he's 40.
I'll take him back. Lumpy Battery says, cancel the protest.
Well,
I think Spurs knew they had to get something. They knew they had to get something done before the game yesterday.
We're going to hear about the hijack after tomorrow.
Don't even.
But yeah, look, is what it is. I think I'm not saying cancel it, but I'm just saying the inevitability is the numbers won't be as good.
Yeah, I think the Spurs fans had the knives out before today. And I think this one has definitely gone some way to appeasing the fans.
Well, the reality is they deserve credit for getting this deal done, and it's a really good deal. And they they've said they're going to spend the money. And I know we've been saying in the videos, why do we believe them every time and blah blah. But at the end of the day, they did spend it, and they've been trying to spend it. We've
still
clear.
Got more to spend.
I know, but they've been trying to spend for this number 10. They have throughout the whole window. And even though we've failed to do it because of circumstances, some our fault, some not our fault, they have been trying. And that's why I was saying to you, when I think we were talking about, I think it was after Eze got hijacked, you're like, is this going to be Sa? Is this what we've come to? Is it going to be Sa on the 10th of the season? I'm like, well, we're clearly trying to rectify that, aren't we? And we did rectify it. So they deserve credit for that.
Yeah, I agree. Michael Hellman says, any coincidence in the 10th year Son signing anniversary, Xavi links a deal for the best club in the Prem. Oh, sorry, Xavi inks a deal for the best club in the Prem.
No coincidence at all.
Tagindi Dini is saying, Tottenham, the gift that keeps on giving. Come on, you Spurs.
That's usually in a different meaning when people say that.
Dark Sun G saying, Levy might make up for the failed summer after the CL second. What does that mean?
After CL, Levy might make up for the fail. I don't know.
Anyway, if we sign these two players now from the end of the window, it is making up for the failed summer, in my opinion. Malware says, add a Lookman and a Kanji, and we'll be looking like a proper Champions League squad. Let the mad scientist Frank cook. And it's true. It's true. If we sign these two players, like a Lookman or a Savinho with an Akanji or Ake, we'll have a team ready to play in the Champions League, in my opinion. A squad
100%.
ready to contest 4 competitions this season.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're looking at it and it's like, we've got options everywhere all of a sudden.
Let's be real, though. We still need to talk about, which I don't think we're going to talk about today, but at some point we're going to have to talk about how all these signings fit in.
Yeah, I know.
And who's going to be the full guys in the squad. You're looking at, if we do bring the centre-back, Ben Davies has got to be one of the full guys for sure.
Has to be, yeah. How can we can't keep him in? Obviously, we know Basuma, he has to be left out. Maddison has to be left out. I guess we'll have to see maybe if Decky's left out or not. Dragoshin as well. Obviously, Vuskovic has now gone on loan. We haven't spoken about that yet. So a lot of tough decisions to be made.
Yeah. Dark Sun G with the super chat saying, the reason we can bring players in is because of Ange is shipping out all the deadwoods that blocked us before, like Dyer, Sanchez, Winks, Tanguy, etc. Also for Europa. No, we do have a lot to thank Ange Postecoglou for. I think, look, if anything, the Europa League win. And he will always be a legend at this football club. Always.
Yeah, would we have got Xavi if we didn't win that Europa League?
Probably not, because we wouldn't be in the Champions League.
Exactly.
We'd have no European football this season.
Exactly.
So I think in terms of laying the groundwork and the foundations of us having a good transfer window this summer, I think we have a lot to thank Ange for.
And you know how Brian always goes on about, like, we never sign players we wouldn't have gotten when we do get in the Champions League. We never sign players.
It's the first time.
This is one of the first times you could say.
The first time, I think. This is the first time that we've actually used the Champions League to our kind of advantage. Kepian Arxa says, "We are fucking massive. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Come on."
And Swayat says, "If we lost the Europa League final, we'd be signing Vardy right now."
Yeah, literally.
You never know. We could have signed Mbeumo and Cunha if we won if we lost the Champions League final. But yeah, that is the super chats. A big up to everyone. Thank you for sending those in. Let's go and have a look now at the data behind Xavi Simons. Obviously, the data is very strong with him in terms of how he's done in his league seasons over the past 3 years. So last year, 25 games, 10 goals, 8 assists in 25 games. That is unbelievable numbers. The year before that, 32 games, 8 goals, 11 assists. And for PSV, he got 19 goals and 8 assists.
He really smashed out when he was there.
games. So the last 3 seasons, he's got over double figures. Two seasons of double figures of goals. The other season was 8, but in all seasons he's got well over double figures in goal contributions.
Yeah, and he's doing it. Last season, it was only in 25 games, 16 goal contributions. Season before, 19 goal contributions in 32, and obviously for PSV it was 27 in 34. So he's really been a goal contribution machine over the last 3 years at such a young age. You look at the underlying stats. This is last year. You can bring on the chart. So this is last year. You can see, last 365 days when you compare him to like attacking mids. Look how strongly he performs when looking at the data. He really performs so strongly all over the park. What's great is the blue, which is his playmaking, passing ability. That's like his strongest thing, and that's exactly the kind of player we're looking for. Lots of through balls, lots of key passes into the box, progressive passes as well. This is a guy who's very good at getting the ball and getting that ball forward and doing it to a good, very high degree and to a really good number. Obviously, goals and assists very strong as well. Really high numbers there. And when it comes to like possession, touches and attacking third, passes received, getting on the half turn, really good as well. So let me see if there's another one. So if you look at some of these stats as well, carries is fairly decent. Tackles as well. Look at that. Tackles in the attacking third. You know Frank's going to be very big on that. And he's in the 82nd percentile for attacking midfielders as well.
You're looking at the way Spurs played against Manchester City and how strong we were in the press with Richarlison, with Sarr, with Kudus. I mean, he's just going to add to that, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he's a hard worker. Interesting enough, says like take-ons and stuff, there's stuff to work, is quite low there. So that's obviously maybe something he needs to improve. But the passing is what's really intriguing me. He's clearly a very adept passer. He's very good at getting the ball forward and creating chances. And that's the kind of number 10 we need. Yeah,
I mean, I always had in my mind that Xavi Simons was really strong at ball carrying and successful take-ons, but...
Or maybe it's just the last 365, these last few days. If I maybe look at his best season at Leipzig was this season here. So let's see how he performs here. So take-on's a lot better. Look at that.
Yeah.
So when he was at his best, he was much higher. So he's a good dribbler. And look at those passing stats here. Incredible, right at the top
percentile. That was his first season at Leipzig.
Yeah, and that was when he was at his best as well. So that was also really good. Still decent defensive numbers as well, but also good shooting numbers. Also quite good shooting numbers. Gets a lot of shots on target. He's very good at shooting outside the box. He's a very good a player that you can't really afford to give too much space in and around the D in the penalty area, because he can find those corners. But you can see here, fantastic, passing ability. And that creation is really going to unlock a lot of doors for Tottenham.
And that was the big reservation about Eze from a lot of people in the fan base about his passing ability from the central areas, where I think that's the difference between Xavi Simons and Eze, where Eze, you know, we were saying on the channel that we think he can do it, but there was no evidence at Crystal Palace because of the position that he was playing in, where Xavi Simons, there is clear evidence that that's what his best ability is.
Let's compare him to Eze. So if you compare to what he does to what Eze, where is he? There he is. So the blue is Simons and the red is Eze. You can see how well Simons performs ahead of Eze in a lot of different facets. Especially the one that's most important is that passing ability.
I can't really see Eze's. Is that small little red gap in the middle of the blue? Is that
I can't tell. It's being gobbled up. It's being gobbled up by Simons, unfortunately for him.
There's no doubt about it. If Xavi Simons comes in and lives up to his reputation and ability at Tottenham Hotspur, he is going to be a much better signing than what Eze could have been for us, in my opinion.
I agree, and I think he's got the attributes we need more than Eze does. Not to say that Eze, the attributes he does couldn't have helped us, but I think Simons has those real specific attributes that Tottenham needed in their from their number 10. If we look at his full scout report, this is from a season which wasn't his best season, but this is like a full scout report in terms of drilling like very deep into what he gives us. So if you look at the shooting data, see again, it's very strong. Like shots on 43% shot on target ratio. It's really good. His goal shot ratio is good. Goals, obviously, he does get a lot of goals, and actually his shot total is quite low. So he's quite an effective shooter. When he decides to shoot, he's not wasteful with his shooting, it seems, which is very impressive. Here, these passing stats are that's the most impressive, and these are the very important things here you can see with him, and he's pretty good at all his passing, really. But a number of passes, profile, short, man. He is medium, long.
Everything that he's performing strong in is what Spurs desperately need from a number 10. Every single metric.
Key passes, passing to the final third, progressive passes. The only one that's not great is crosses, which maybe doesn't do too many clearly, but his passing is fantastic. And whether it's short, medium, or long, it's all very strong.
Yeah.
All extremely strong. Number of through balls, very good. Doesn't do a lot of switches, but that doesn't matter. He takes a lot of corners, we're fine. Goal creators, shot creating actions, really good. And look, he earns shot creating actions from fouls drawn, so he earns a lot of fouls, which is, something that will get us a lot of free kick situations, which is, we've got a good dead ball specialist and stuff like that. Defensively, it's pretty good. The only one he doesn't perform well is in the defensive third. He clearly doesn't get back there, but he's, he's not. That's in it when you're a 10 or a winger. You would think that's not maybe your job, but again, this is compared to other attacking mid, so he doesn't get into the defensive third that much. But midfield third and attacking third performs pretty well, and he
seems like he's a very hard worker. Very hard worker.
Decent interceptions as well, so he's got pretty good defensive stats. Possession, decent. For some reason this season he wasn't that good at taking people on. It attempted a lot, but it didn't perform too well. Maybe if I look at his other season, it'll be better. But carries is pretty good. Not too many carries into the box. Maybe it's about the position he's taken up. So looking at his stats, really, I think that it's very exciting what he's good at and what he's going to bring to the team, I think.
I cannot wait. I keep saying it, but I cannot wait. And I agree with you. I think every metric that we've discussed, what he looks really strong at, is what Spurs have been crying out for, particularly since Maddison has got injured. I think maybe if Maddison didn't get injured, we'd maybe be looking for a different kind of profile. We're looking for more of a hybrid kind of 8-10, like a Morgan Gibbs-White. But now Maddison is injured. This is exactly what we need.
So this is him in his best season in Leipzig, and obviously the take on stats are much stronger. Look at that, very strong green lines, much better take on. 5 take on attempts and 3 completed. Just over 50%, like one of the best in Europe. So he has it in him.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened last season. He didn't have. It was just that aspect wasn't great for some reason, but he clearly has that ability to take people on to a really high level. And when you got him and Kudus in those areas, I mean, it's going to be so hard for teams to deal with.
Him, Kudus, plus our new left winger. Don't forget our new left winger.
Exactly.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. We're going to have players of elite ball carrying ability. They've got Xavi in the middle, pulling the strings and creating chances. You're going to have Richarlison and Solanke who are going to be beneficiaries. You're going to have Kudus and Brennan Johnson who are going to be beneficiaries of it as well. And when you're talking about, and we spoke about it a lot over the summer, last summer as well, about Spurs need to regenerate that forward line and we need to take it on to the next level. He definitely represents that. Kudus definitely represents that. And one more, and that's it. The forward line is completely regenerated.
That's him in his best season up against Eze.
In which season? Last season?
Yeah.
Look at that. Not one metric is Ebereche better than Xavi Simons.
And this is Simons at 21, playing in Champions League as well.
And Eze in his pomp.
Yeah. Incredible. Like, he's such a talent. He's an incredible talent.
And the best thing about it is this guy is just going to get better and better and better. He's nowhere near his peak yet. He's about 5 years away from his peak.
Yeah.
It's the scary thing about it. How good this guy can be. When he first broke onto the scene, everyone was talking about this guy as the next big thing in Europe. Took a step back. Well, it's not really a step back because he was very young when he was in the PSG team. He was, 18 when he was...
in the academy, yeah.
When he was at PSG. He only started about 6 games, but he left PSG in search of first-team football, and he got that at PSV. Then he went on to Leipzig, and he's been a mainstay in both those teams, and he's been a star, if not the best player, in both those teams. So he's going to come to Spurs with a big reputation, and I'm sure he's going to fulfill that reputation. So those are the metrics behind Xavi Simons, and I'm sure all you guys out there are as excited as I am to see this guy finally put on the Spurs shirt. We're going to get an announcement, hopefully, at some point today as well, which we'll be covering for you here. But let's get on to a couple of super chats before we end on a Tottenham update. So let me just pull those up again.
Oh, got reacts as well.
Oh, we got reacts as well. I forgot about that. We're going to do a reacts as well for you guys. So Michael Hellman says Tottenham Galacticos 1.0.
1.0, love that.
Anyup says we should sign Nathan Ake. He will be a good backup for a Doggy and Van de Ven. Also want to give Tell time before we go for a replacement already. I mean, we just signed him. What replacement for Matthias Tell? But yeah, it's interesting with Matthias Tell, isn't it? Because obviously we're in the market for another winger.
Yeah.
And we've just signed Matthias Tell on a permanent. So what's the story with Matthias?
Yeah, obviously you can play on left or striker. Yeah, maybe if, I don't know, but do we feel like he's not ready? Obviously Odebear as well. Do we feel like we just need another option there? Well, we're not, and also, but it's not necessarily looking for a left winger, I don't think. It could be a right winger.
Yeah, it could be. If Brennan Johnson's plan is to play on the left.
Yeah, I think it could easily be a right winger. So
yeah. I think ideally we do want someone that could just cover both.
Yeah.
Because that's why we wanted Savinho so strongly, because he can cover both.
Yeah. I from what are the links at the moment, I think it's a right winger when you're talking about Akilush, and I think Savinho is going to be brought into play on the right, I think.
Yeah. Adita Turan, no comment, just a super chat, so thank you very much. Adam Bear says, you think Simons can get double figures? I think he can.
What, goals or assists?
Well, I think just goal contributions. I think he for sure can.
Yeah, if we're doing all competitions. Yeah, for either way, yeah, 100%. I'm pretty confident.
Aditha Turan with another super chat, no comment. Thank you very much. Dark Sun G says Liverpool got Wirtz for double the price of Simons.
Yeah, 110 million, 120 million. They did pay a lot. Look, I think Wirtz obviously played for a team in the Bundesliga that went invincible and was a phenomenal kind of player. But I'm not saying Siemens can be as good as him or is as good as him, but I don't know if Wirtz is worth double what Siemens is worth.
And Malware says Frank is Professor from Powerpuff Girls. Kudus is the sugar. Xavi is the spice. And Paulinia is everything nice. These ingredients created Frank Masterclass. Absolutely, Malware. I love that super chat. Big up to you. All right, now we are going to move on to a Xavi Simons reacts. So let's go and see what the internet has been saying, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great content here. First of all, Daily Hotspur, Tottenham icon Rafa van der Vaart on Xavi Simons in 2023. I look at the potential, how good someone can become in the future. With Simons, everything I see makes me very happy. Absolutely, he is a world-class talent. And
the Van der Vaart seal of approval,
you know what?
people.
Not many people get the Van der Vaart seal of approval, I'll tell you that.
He loves calling people out and calling them terrible. Even what was it, Yamal? He was like, oh, he should pull up his pants. He's like too busy doing all these things. So the fact that Xavi Simons has the Van der Vaart seal of approval is good. Good news for us.
Abuka says Xavi Simons went to London to reject Chelsea in person.
Exactly.
We little bro Chelsea.
Oh, fantastic.
And it was only like yesterday I was saying Sim, like with this season's transfer window, you can see like the pecking order and the hierarchy of the London clubs. Well, that's all changed after the Xavi Simons situation, because I was actually saying that on the kind of assumption that Xavi Simons was going to choose Chelsea.
Exactly, and now we've got Kudus and Simons over them. Come on.
Spurs Web saying, when you celebrate stealing Eberechi, but wake up to Tottenham signing Xavi Simons.
Arsenal fans might be pissed at the moment. They didn't wait.
Flav says, mad if we sign Simons, we'll have two number 10s that are better than Eze.
Exactly. Crazy.
Apollo saying, Savio watching Kudus and Simons.
He's desperate to come. Free the guy.
Free Savinho from the clutches of Pep Guardiola, man. Adam Smithy says, best mates apparently.
There you go.
Come on, just bring him in. Bring him in.
Agent Simons.
Savinho's got to call up a stink now. Calls up that stink.
Agent Simons already.
He only wanted Tottenham Hotspur.
Come on.
He only wants Tottenham Hotspur. Luca THFC saying, how this morning felt. This is literally me in the morning this morning.
Literally, no one could believe it. Fantastic. Unbelievable.
Jordan, Xavi Simons to Tottenham. Someone check on this, or check on bro. What's this guy saying?
Can they hear it if you play the sound?
Yeah, they will be able to hear it. Basically, it's a Chelsea fan saying, there is nothing to worry about Tottenham.
It's just Spurs, people. You know what it is with Tottenham.
Lads, it's Tottenham.
Oh, poor guy. We can't. The people they're saying they can't hear it.
No, they can't hear it.
Well, go watch that video. It's very great.
Go watch it.
He isn't going to be happy.
It's basically a Chelsea fan in absolute tears. Next up, Simon Phillips saying, Willian spent hours completing Tottenham medical, then hopped in a van to sign for Chelsea in a brutal transfer hijack. Mourinho mocks Spurs over Willian. I no longer recognise my club.
It's a Chelsea fan. Now we're doing the hijack.
Does this make up for the Willian hijack?
For sure. Simons is much better than Willian.
Raz says, I can't believe this. You stalled for 6 weeks after agreeing personal terms, only for Spurs to sign him for 60 million euros, 20 million more than we're playing for Garnacho? Yeah, whatever. Fuck the directors. Firmin or 2026 Pies then.
Pats, I think he means.
Oh, Pats.
There's a meltdown in the Chelsea fan base, and I'm all here for it. I am here for it.
Villain Baller says, they pump-faked Arsenal into going for Eze and swooped the real deal. Xavi is the better player, higher pedigree, bigger ceiling, already played at a higher level, 6 years younger, and all for the cheaper two. Nasty stuff.
Nasty. Disgusting. It's a disgusting deal. Fantastic.
CFC Pice just absolutely crying in tears, mate.
They're gutted. They can't believe what's happened. They thought for the whole summer Simons was coming. They just can't believe it.
I know. Alice Talks Football says Xavi Simons costing less than Madueke, Gittins and Elanga this window is some crazy good business for Tottenham.
It's not that. Well, maybe you have to refresh. I don't know. That's not the next one. Where is it? No, because that one's J. Maybe you have to refresh.
Me? So where are we?
Down. Down off this one. Yeah, there.
Okay, J. Coe saying Tottenham paid 10 million more for Xavi Simons than what West Ham did for Fernandes.
That's crazy. Man, they just signed that Manuel Fernandes from Southampton for 40 million.
That's crazy.
And we paid 10 million more for Xavi Simons.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Football Confidential saying unreal signing Spurs this. Xavi Simons is so far ahead of Eberechi. It is insane.
Exactly.
Xavi Simons at 21 is what Eberechi is dying to be.
Mm-hmm. They've got their We Got Eze Over Spurs trophy. We've got a trophy and Xavi Simons.
Exactly.
How about that?
Sean Walsh says Spurs waking up to Xavi Simons up for a 4 a.m. medical so they can get Willianed again. So they can't get Willianed again. It's crazy the timescales of this transfer. Like they were so paranoid of getting Gazump, they had to get it done at 3-4 in the morning.
Make sure when Chelsea are asleep.
Yeah.
Make sure he is having a medical where all Chelsea are for sure asleep and they can't hijack this deal.
James Harris saying Levy managing to land Xavi Simons after missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze.
Brilliant.
Oh, God. Just Chelsea saying Xavi rejected Bayern and City for Chelsea, but Tottenham think he'll accept them.
You're damn
he would
right.
never join Tottenham.
You're goddamn right.
Why would a player of Xavi Simons' ability reject Chelsea to go to Tottenham? Why would he do it?
Little old Tottenham. Never. Surely not.
SSY Comps, there's a lovely Xavi Simons compilation if you go onto his Twitter.
Oh, he has got serious
real.
compilations.
Unbelievable.
Serious
real.
compilations.
Nini, Blue Lions TV says, we lost out to Spurs twice in this window. Lost for words. You think it couldn't happen again after Mohamed Kudus? They think it couldn't happen again. But it's happened again, Chelsea. We little bro drew twice in one window.
Come on. They must be shell-shocked. They don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
The Frank Revolution is here, people.
And that is the way the internet did react. Some pure Chelsea fan base meltdowns there, which we're all here to see. And we're going to finish off on a Tottenham update for you guys. And first up, we are going to be talking about Manuel Akanji, as Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham have approached Man City over a deal for Manuel Akanji. He is one of the 3 names on the list, which is very interesting. And there's also an update from Jake Gorn that says Tottenham have launched a bid for Manuel Akanji. The player is believed to want to play Champions League football next season. Obviously, AC Milan have been in the conversation for Akanji, who don't have Champions League football. It's believed to be a 15 million bid that could get Akanji out of Manchester City. What's your thoughts on a deal for Akanji?
Yeah, I think it's a really good deal. I'm a big fan of Akanji. Very versatile. Can play centre back, right back, a little bit of left back as well. He's just very versatile. He's very physical. I wonder why he's looking to leave and they're happy to sell. It's very odd. Is there an injury problem there or something? I mean, whenever I look at the Swiss flag, it looks like he's injured. I can't help but look at that. But I don't know why they're willing to sell for such a cheap price. They should be keeping him. It doesn't make sense to me. Are they looking to sell so they can get a younger defender? Are they going to reintegrate Kuzanov more? Is that why they're looking to sell him? It's all a bit peculiar because I think he's been such a great servant for them. He stepped in whenever that he's needed to. He's obviously never been a proper starter for them. They've always been better players, but he does always seem to get a lot of game time, and he always steps in and does really well. So I do find it peculiar. They're looking to get rid. And also, if he comes to Tottenham, why would he want to come to us when he might be in a similar position at us where they would have been at City.
Well, I reckon the situation is that Pep has probably told him he's surplus to requirements for one reason or another. I think that Pep has clearly stated on a number of occasions this window that they do need to sell some players and that their squad is very big. So he must be one of the fall guys.
Well, I'll take him. I think a versatile defender is great. The only thing I would say is he's not quite a left back. I know that he doesn't really play there, so I would prefer Ake. Yeah, I prefer Ake. I think Ake would be my preference if between the two. But if you offered it to me right now, well, am I going to say no? I'm not going to say no.
But you look at, if we do sign Akanji, there's the centre-back options for us now with Mickey van der Ven, Kuti Romero, Kevin Danso, Emmanuel Akanji. That is 4 really good centre-backs.
And also you can fit a right-back. So Spence, obviously, if the plan is to keep him
we don't need a left-back then. If Emmanuel Akanji is what you're saying, is he decent at right-back?
Yeah, he can play there, yeah.
If he's decent at right-back, then it's not a problem at all. It's not a problem at all because the beauty of having Djed Spence is that he is good on right-back, good at left-back, right? So all we need is a centre-back that can play one of right-back or left-back.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's Akanji, I'm not going to say no. I think it'll be a good deal.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But yeah, it seems to be heating up the Akanji to Tottenham rumours with Fabrizio Romano with that link. Next up, we're going to talk about Savinho. The Bleacher Report are reporting that Savinho is unhappy at his proposed move to Tottenham being blocked by Manchester City and has made his feelings clear to the club. He remains keen to join Spurs and is still hoping a transfer can materialise before the window shuts. Now, this would be some hell of a development if we can resurrect this deal, because we've heard from a few journalists now that Savinho to Tottenham is off. Ben Jacobs was on Last Word on Spurs saying that Pep Guardiola was actually okay with Savinho leaving, but this deal was blocked at board level, at higher up than Pep Guardiola. We know that if a player expresses his desire to leave, Pep Guardiola has no problems letting him go. But what Ben Jacobs was saying last night is that they feel like his ceiling is absolutely massive. They believe in him massively at Manchester City, and they didn't want to let him go at all. And it looks as though Rodrigo now is staying at Man City, so their replacement for him that doesn't seem to be anywhere near close. But can this still be resurrected?
I don't think so. I think unless they've got a serious alternative lined up, I don't see City letting him go in the last few days of the window. I also think the reports are saying it's going to take an astronomical fee to even make City think about letting him go. I don't know if Tottenham are going to do that as well. Again, I didn't think we'd get Simon. So, they have been surprising us a lot this window. They've been surprising us a lot this window, but still putting an astronomical fee up there, and then as well having Man City accept the fee and get a replacement in, I think it's all too much. It's all too much to ask for. I don't think this deal is alive, to be honest. And to be honest, the reports you're talking about are not from very reliable sources, so I'm not inclined to believe it.
Yeah, but let's say this report is true. I'm not saying it is, but let's say for argument's sake it is. If he is unhappy and he's making his feelings known to Manchester City, do you think that is a deal that can be resurrected?
No, I don't.
Even if that's the case?
Yeah, because I think City know if Savinho ends up staying, he will give his all, and he will need to get in that World Cup squad. I don't see Savinho downing tools. I don't think City think he'll down tools if he doesn't get his move. There's one thing, and also how desperate is he to leave? Is he wanting to leave by any means necessary, or is it just kind of thing like, if they can agree a deal, he's open to going there? I'm not sure, but obviously, I think unless he's really pushing for it, like he's telling them every day, I want to go Tottenham, like let me go. Unless it's that kind of burning desire, I don't see that stance changing.
Mm-hmm. I think there's 2 options for us on the table that we know that's known to the press. That's Savinho, which is looking less likely. There's also Ademola Lookman, who Ben Jacobs last night on Last Word on Spurs saying there's definite interest there from Spurs. Ademola definitely wants to leave Atalanta. That's a situation and a market opportunity which will go right till the end. Ademola is desperate to get out of Atalanta. So if we can't get Savinho in and we land on Ademola Lookman, I think that's a good alternative.
Yeah, and I like Lookman. I think he's he's more of like a goal-scoring kind of winger, but
Which we
a winger
need.
forward. But I think for me, he's been really doing well over the last few years. Really developed himself at Atlanta. So I think he comes back to the Premier League a much better player than when he left.
Yeah. Manor Solomon, Ben Jacobs says that Leicester are now interested in Manor Solomon, which I think it will be a shame for him to go back down to the Championship after such a strong season in the Championship last season. However, if he is going to Leicester, I think they've got a big chance of getting promoted next season. So if it is a permanent deal, there's a likelihood is he could be back in the Premier League next season.
Yeah, it's peculiar though because he had such a great year in the Championship last season. You would have thought surely someone from the Premier League is going to take note of that and really go for it. And as well as like we know now the Championship's not really his level. He's a bit better than that, I think. So I don't understand why have Leeds not gone in for him? Why is that very quiet?
Apparently, what Ben Jacobs was saying last night, that we're asking too much money for what Leeds can afford. Leeds have already spent a bit of money in this transfer window, and they are looking for an option, but more of a cheaper option.
Why have no other Premier League teams come in for him?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't make sense that we're pricing Premier League teams out, but maybe Championship teams are coming in.
Well,
for
what
him.
it is as well is I think teams might be a bit apprehensive of his injuries history. Obviously, he had a fairly injury-free season last year, but he's injured again. He came back to Tottenham and got injured straight away. So 1 year out of the last 4 years injury-free is that maybe it's not enough to convince teams.
Is there any part of you thinking, are we waiting to sign someone before letting him go?
I don't think so. Because even without him, we've still got Odebear, Tell, Brennan, Kudus. We've still got 4 wingers at the club. So I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I think he'll leave, but it's just weird. It's weird where this was supposed to be a really good big summer for him after such a great season. Expecting either move somewhere or something, or even if it was staying at Tottenham and having a big pre-season and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just a shame how this summer has gone for him.
Yeah, it is a shame, and I think it's mainly down to the injuries. Because I think if it wasn't for the injuries, we might have seen him come off the bench a bit in pre-season. But he wanted to stay at Spurs during the pre-season to prove himself, but he couldn't get in any squad because he was injured. So it is unfortunate for him. And last but not least, we'll just cover it again, but Djed Spence has been called up to the England squad. Luka Vuskovic. That is a last one. He's been confirmed as a Hamburg player on loan this season. It's all officially confirmed by Spurs and by Hamburg, so we obviously wish Luka Vuskovic the best for the coming season. I think it's a good loan for him, starting hopefully week in, week out in the Bundesliga, which is his biggest test yet.
Yeah, and apparently, did his brother play for them? So, or something like that. Because I read
There's some sort of connection there.
I read somewhere he took his brother's number or something. So maybe did his brother play for Hamburg? Great move for him. I really hope to see him start regularly and how he's going to fare in a much higher division in the Bundesliga and how he does. Really exciting talent. Did brilliantly in pre-season when given the opportunity. We saw him in Belgium last year. We saw him in Poland the year before. Every challenge thrown at him has been taken. He's taken to. So, good luck to him. And yeah, look, it's no surprise that we've loaned him out, and we're being talked to a lot of defenders now.
His brother's currently at Hamburg.
Yeah.
So he's going to play with his brother.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mario Vuskovic, 23 years of age. He was at Hijack Split, had a loan move at Hamburg, and now he plays for them full time.
Okay, so maybe I read somewhere he took his brother's number or something. So maybe he took his brother's number from last year or something.
Maybe. Actually, I don't know.
No, it says 22, 23.
Yeah, but it says he doesn't have a club then.
Yeah, his old number. So what is that? That makes sense then.
Oh, he's banned.
Oh, what?
In August 2024, Court of Arbitration for Sport extended his ban till November 2026.
For what? Doping? Says failed a drugs test.
Yeah. Well,
So he has taken his brother's old number.
Yeah, he's taken his brother's old number at Hamburg. So that's the situation with Luka Vuskovic. And finally, Djed Spence has been called up to the England squad as well. So a massive congratulations for Djed. Fully deserved for him. And I can't wait to see him line up for England in the coming international break next week.
Yeah, massive for him. Unbelievable reward for what's been a brilliant year for Djed. A year ago, we had he had a clause to potentially go to Genoa for like what was it, 6 million. We were trying to give him away, and all of a sudden, a year later, he's now in the England squad. He's starting for Tottenham. Just shows you how long a year can be in football and how things can change. So, good luck to him. He's fully deserved it, and yeah, it's a good reward for what's been a brilliant rise.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is your Tottenham update. That is the big news today, though. Xavi Simons will be a Tottenham player. We'll be back live a little later to preview the Bournemouth game. Hopefully a Xavi Simons announcement as well, and maybe some other transfer news that is going to come to light over the next few hours or so. But that is it from us for now. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.